The Castle was top 3 or possibly the greatest pay-per-view of the year so far. Triple H knocked it out of the park, and that was my first ever pay-per-view or premium live event that I've been to in the stadium. I loved it, start to finish. One of the happiest days of my life. It meant so much to me getting to see, prime Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in the UK, Edge before he retires next year. Rey Mysterio is my favourite wrestler of all time, and I got to see him. It was so cool. I shared a building with Bret Hart, Leon Edwards, the welterweight champion in UFC, Tyson Fury, one of the greatest boxers of all time. It was so exciting. The show had 6 matches, no nonsense, just great wrestling. I've seen a lot of people compare it to a takeover, which is just great, and obviously that's what you're going to get with Triple H, and it was so awesome to see. We started with the 6-woman tag. There was Bianca, Alexa and Asuka versus Damage Control. They've made that their name now. They got a new theme song, so I was one of the first people to hear that live, which was cool. It was a decent match. Us fans in the stadium throughout the whole show just kept on shouting. It was an amazing experience, and I just really loved it. So the match itself was fun. There was a lot of cool spots. I wanted Bayley's team to win, and they got the W, which made me happy. In Cardiff, we love Bayley. We have our Bayley chants, and the whole stadium was singing it. You could tell, even though she's supposed to be the bad guy, she loved it on the inside. But what I really want to talk about is the Intercontinental Championship match. So we started Sheamus, of course. We gave him a big reaction in the UK. It made sense. He's from Ireland. He had the little homecoming face chant. It was an amazing thing to be a part of. But what was big then? Ludwig Kaiser, he came out with his mic, as he always does. But then he announced Giovanni Vinci, or also known as Fabian Aichner, is now reunited with him. So we have Imperium on the main roster on SmackDown, which is desperately needed. They came out in all black. The only thing that was missing was the old theme song and their names, of course. But Imperium is on the main roster. So the match was everything an Intercontinental title match should be. One of the best in over 10 years, I'd say. It was absolutely amazing. Literally at the very start of the match, they already had welts and bruises, and Sheamus was bleeding from getting chopped and smacked repeatedly in the chest throughout the whole fight. I don't know how long it was, because I think maybe 20 minutes, correct me if I'm wrong. One of the greatest, if not best, matches on the card. I was sad to see Sheamus lose, but I also know that it makes better sense for WWE to have Gunther as champion. But it just would have been nice to have that, that home crowd reaction. But it was an amazing match. They delivered. Just smack, everything you thought it would be and more is what that match gave us. And Gunther takes the dub. Then it was Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler for the SmackDown Women's title. And you gotta feel sorry for them, because it was hard for them to follow up after that match we just saw. In the crowds, we died down a bit for that match. There was nothing really special, but I was happy to see Liv win clean, which I was going into this match fully expecting Shayna Baszler to win. She's a Triple H girl from NXT. But Liv gets a clean win, so it looks like we're really pursuing and going to experiment with Liv as world champ. And I'm excited to see what the future holds. And then, this match. Rey and Edge versus the Judgment Day was so cool for me. Rey and Edge are some of my favourites of all time. And they're getting older now, so I don't know how many years they've got left in them, so to finally be able to see them in real life, Rey Mysterio has been my favourite since I started watching, so that's my first time ever seeing him. I've been to house shows previously, but he wasn't working with the company when I went there, so to be able to see Rey Mysterio live in person, still doing flips was amazing. And then though, Edge's entrance, I was singing Metalingus with everybody in the stadium. I don't think that's ever happened before at a WWE crowd, where they just sing the theme song like that. It was really amazing. One of my favourite things I've ever been a part of. Seeing Edge, because he's not, it's him being there should have been impossible. He retired 9 years ago. Not 9, well, he retired in 2011, came back 9 years later, and then he announced he's retiring next year. So when he announced that, I bought my ticket straight away when his match was announced on the card, because I just had to see him, and it was amazing. We showered from start to finish the whole show. Seeing Edge do a 619 was really special. Getting to see Ray do all his moves, the 619, of course, frog splashes, flips and tricks. It was so cool. But in the end of the match, Dominic Bastard Mysterio fucking leathers Edge in the cock and balls. He goes down, Ray's shouting at his son, and then he gets absolutely smacked with a clothesline. It took him down, a blink and you'll miss it, is how fast he went down. It was crazy. We showered in the stadium. It's been brewing for like a month now that that's going to happen, and we finally got to see the payoff, and it was worth it. And you know, it makes you look forward to Monday to see what's going to happen. So that match was really special to me, and it was everything I could ask for. And then we had Seth Rollins versus Riddle. Oh wow, Matt Riddle. They call him Matt Riddle now. That's a thing. Just seeing that rivalry, it's been building up. Probably the most built up rivalry on the card. Maybe behind the main event. That's been going on since like April. But Seth Rollins getting to sing his theme song with the fans is something I've always wanted to do. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I do it in my house, which you could say is sad. I don't care. But in the stadium, getting to do it with the fans was just so special for me. And I loved it. It was a really cool match. They had a lot of high spots, just brutality. They told a great story in the ring, and I just loved it. We saw Riddle doing all his combos that he normally does, sentons, floating bro, springboard to the outside. Seth Rollins hit a bro Derek. He did a pedigree. I think there was a spine buster. I don't know if I'm imagining that. And then stomp, and then the super stomp off the top rope, second rope. I don't know if we've ever seen that before, but I was so happy to see Seth Rollins get an actual pay-per-view win, which is his first one since, I think, it was a DQ win against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, which hardly even counts itself. So the last time he actually won a pay-per-view, I could not tell you. But now it was time for the main event. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. This was so exciting. The reaction we gave Drew in the stadium was like no other. I will say comfortably that Cardiff crowd, we were the best crowd of the year. WWE, AEW, any wrestling show, I don't care. That was the best crowd that we've seen. One of the best pay-per-views we've seen. But then, hearing Drew McIntyre at the start, they put together a video package for him, and it had Broken Dreams playing in the stadium. We also sang along to that in the stadium. One of my favourite WWE themes of all time. It was so fucking cool, man. And then, of course, we got his Scottish Warrior theme. He came out, we gave him big reactions. We had our own Drew McIntyre chants that you don't hear. And then Roman Reigns booed out of the fucking building. Now, I love Roman Reigns. I still held my one to the sky. I couldn't help it. But I also took part in booing Roman Reigns out of the stadium, saying, fuck you, Roman, saying Roman is a wanker. It was amazing. You don't hear that from a WWE crowd, but we in the UK, we gave that to you. The match went about half an hour. There was 63,000 of us all backing and behind Drew McIntyre, and the match definitely delivered. It involved brutality, finishing moves, drama with the referee getting knocked down. When that happened, Austin Theory, yes, Austin Theory, he got his first name back, just like Riddle, sprinted down to the ring. He went ringside with the ref. He brought down to officially cash in his contract. It looked set in stone that this was the case. And then, from out of nowhere, Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, knocked him the fuck out with a swift right to the jaw, and I went crazy in the stadium. After this, Drew hit Roman with a spear and then a Claymore. I was out of my seat, ready to see Drew become the champion. 1, 2. The ref gets dragged out of the ring by a man covered in black who revealed himself to be Solo Sikoa. For those of you who are unfamiliar with him, he is the younger brother of Jimmy and Jey Uso, and he has been in NXT for about a year. I've been watching a lot of his stuff. I followed him. He's a really talented guy, and adding him to the bloodline on SmackDown definitely needed for a breath of fresh air to the Roman Reigns title run. So now getting back to it, Solo presses Drew's head into the ropes, throwing him back when he was met with a spear by Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3, and the run continues. At the end, Tyson Fury climbs into the ring, shakes hands with Roman, and pulls Drew McIntyre back to his feet. I see loads of Americans complaining about this, like the next part of this, but in the stadium, and for the UK fans watching at home, singing with Tyson Fury is a huge honour. He always sings American Pie after his boxing matches, so to be able to do that was an amazing experience. That was then followed up by Don't Look Back in Anger, which is a national treasure, and that marked the end of the show. The first premium live event fully booked by Triple H, and I see a lot of people calling it online the best one of the year, so being a part of that was special to me. I think this shows that the UK deserves 1, maybe 2 or 3 live events a year. Our energy is unmatched by any country in the world, and we set the examples of what fans should be like every show. Even for Raw and SmackDown, it just adds so much to the show. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. At the time I'm recording this, I'm 1 subscriber away from 200, so if you want to be my 200th subscriber, go and do that right now. Thanks, guys.